Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 35 of Crash TV. And we're in much better visual quality now. So, hello everyone.
Hello. Hello.
My name's Matt, and I've got with me
Jez,
Craig. Hello.
Dave. Hello.
Symes.
Sam.
Yeah, so I think we wanted to just kind of jump in and talk about quality because everybody's been complaining that they can't see the things that we hold up to camera and they can't see us, and that the podcast's really going out kind of low quality. So what we wanted to try for the first time this week was Crash TV recorded in a kind of high quality standard def, and we'll compress that down for the podcast. Hopefully that'll be the best quality we can make it, and we'll probably make this a download available from the site as well, so people, if they really want to see the high quality, if they want to see some of the images that we're showing, and obviously our lovely faces,
good side.
and then they can download that from the site.
Yeah, and we can get it on iTunes as well, right?
And iTunes as well. So in fact the timing of this is slightly odd. So now that we're video, we'll put out the usual audio podcast, Crash FM, which should be uploaded by this evening, so Friday evening, and then it takes a couple of days to get the video up there, so that's something that will appear at some point over the weekend.
Cool. That's pretty cool. So, actually, we mentioned it was episode 35 of the podcast, but I think we're quite close to the first anniversary of us doing that. So
yeah, you guys.
We're trying to.
We skipped a couple of weeks. I remember we did the first one. I think it was the week after E3. We came back and we did it in a totally separate room. We actually did it in one of the office meeting rooms, and it was me and Alex. And I actually can't remember. That's really bad. I can't remember.
I was in there. Hamish was in there.
And we were talking about stuff. We talked about the games that we played at E3, and it was just a general starting point. And I think we've come quite a long way.
Yeah.
And now going to kind of higher resolution video stuff. We're always learning. We're always trying to get better at interacting with the community and just generally, giving you guys what you want. So
absolutely.
You want better video footage, we'll give it to you, and you can be able to see more interesting things, and we get to show you stuff.
So we'll go HD soon then.
We'll go HD soon.
Oh.
I'm not sure HD is ready for us yet.
I think I'm ready for HD.
Does that mean we're going to have to start having makeup?
Yeah, we probably will do. Actually, we'll have someone with those nose things powdering us up before we start on the podcast. Be brilliant.
You got something, Symes?
Yeah, that's one of the things actually with the video footage as well. We're putting onto the site. We've been putting a lot of stuff filmed with a hand cam from YouTube, and the quality. Well, the problem is that Burnout Paradise is so detailed. There's so much going off. YouTube pretty much wrecks it. So I've been doing a lot of work this week in the capture station, and hopefully what we'll be doing is next week starting to roll out some much higher quality in-game footage of all the new game modes, the challenges and everything like that.
Great.
Yeah. In fact, one of the issues we've got right now is you actually can't capture Burnout, or I don't think there's any system which is capable of doing it. We're experimenting with one which comes all the way from Israel, but the issue is 720p, 60 frames a second, and then just a mountain of detail on screen, and we've tried a bunch of different things to actually try and get that over, but it's really difficult. So obviously people playing the game know how great it looks, but it's really hard for people who haven't played it or are just looking at it for the first time in our videos to understand that that's really how crisp and sharp it really is.
But we'll keep working on it. We'll evolve it. I'm sure we have the technology somewhere. Yeah. Well, that's good. So so we'll figure out when our first birthday is, and
so you guys had a big break, didn't you, around December? So
yeah,
35 is one a week, but then with some
there were some gaps early off when we started. There were some gaps, and we had some breaks, and I think we used to do it every other week, didn't we?
We did 2 a week on a few of them. Then we did the Titanic episode, which was, I think it was 3 hours long, where we got to the point, because when we started, we don't know how many people we're going to get letters from, emails and whatever, so we promised everybody from the start we will read out every letter that we get sent in, and it got to a point where I think we had like 100 we did in one session. So
yeah, I mean, if it's anything close to
our promise, we read out all 100 of them, because they're really useful. So
we modified the statement and just said we'll read every letter we get.
Yeah, so we definitely, we still read everything that comes in. That's a big part of Simon's job.
Yeah, first thing in the morning, I'm probably going through best part of about 50 to 60 mails a day.
Yeah, and that's to mailbag@criteriongames.com.
Absolutely, yes indeedy.
Yes,
Right
in fact, if you want to know what happens when their mails come through, they immediately come through to Symes, and then he kind of distributes them through the team. So Dave's obviously working on the new island and the artwork for the world, and so anything which relates to that goes bouncing through to him. So Symes is kind of the first point, and then everybody gets to see stuff. So we read everything.
I get to have a look every so often because he set it up on my machine, so I can dive into mailbag.
It's on mine as well. So we all kind of have a look.
Yeah, but we know about you and replying to emails, don't we? So,
what's that supposed to mean?
Well, no,
it's a personal message.
The personal messaging on the forums, yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about where we're at with Cagney. So last week, I think we mentioned we had we're very close to bug free, and through the course of this week, we've been at 0 bugs, and then we've had a couple come in, then we've had a lot come in, and we've squished them down. We're at that interesting phase of development where you think you're done, and then something nasty comes around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's very complex. A lot of the stuff we put into Cagney, all the new time treatment challenges, the multi-part stuff, and we just because of the amount of people we have playing the game and testing it, we just still find problems. So we want to make sure that we don't ship anything that's not as perfect as we can make it. So we spent a couple of hours playing the challenges yesterday, and we found some small problems, and it's some other developers might kind of let it go and go, you know what, there's a bug in there and we know about it and we're going to ship it, but actually we try and keep our quality really, really high, so it will go when it's done, but obviously we're trying to get through that as quickly as possible.
I think I just did a quick look at the we have a system called DevTrack here, which is how we organise our bugs and who's assigned to them and lots of different things. I just took a look through, so we're sitting on about 3 at the moment. They all look relatively easy to solve, so hopefully we'll get to bug free today, and then
yes,
yes, and then it's up
free
to
donuts when we get to bug free. Even though the programmers are fixing the bugs.
What was bacon rolls the other day? I came around to check out bikes. There were bacon rolls everywhere.
Well,
brilliant,
awesome. Yeah, I just happened to be in the area and suddenly it was bacon roll. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I think that must have been down to under 10 bugs, something like that.
Oh, nice! I missed that. So then we go on to our QA, our internal QA group here. Go off and they start their final, what they call their final playthrough. So even though Cagney is a chunk of new content which we've talked about with our free burn game modes and our new challenges and loads of bug fixes and obviously the new community page right at the start of the game, they have to go back because we've been messing around with the code. They have to go back and run through the entire game playthrough again. I think that the last thing they said that was going to be like 4 days straight.
Yeah, because it's a big game and there's a lot of stuff to play through, and even though I guess not a lot of people know this about the way that we make games, is that we don't just Cagney doesn't just sit on top of the game as a completed thing. It's interwoven, like Matt said. There's the new live front end page that boots up, so we are still touching the game, and there are times when you potentially break certain things, so we have to go back and check that the main progression and the main license system works that was shipped on the original disc. So we do have to check all that stuff. It's not just a case of checking only the new stuff that goes in, because we want to make sure we don't break people's profiles and people's saves.
Absolutely, we don't want to do that.
We've played games before where you download something, it's bust my save. We don't want to be in that position.
Yeah.
And also, everything kind of works really nicely and as well as we can get it to be. So.
And we want it out first time as well.
Right. I was just thinking one of the big things is that it's truly game-changing content.
Yes.
It's not just a pack. It is something which changes the way that you play, and
absolutely
even the way that you look at things that exist in the game and you've become familiar with.
Well, we've reskinned the entire front end, so everything. It's cool looking at the same game but in a different way, because it's all we have the tarmac textures on stuff and all the kind of orange highlights. So it's kind of cool.
It does look fresh.
It immediately freshens it up.
Yeah.
So it's cool, and we're aiming to do that with every update and every game-changing content that we put out there. Is always change the look of the game, so it doesn't get tired. And we'll just look at adding extra information into driver's details, for example. We know that people are really keen to see what happens after 101% on your license, because there's a lot of people who are keen for that. So all of this stuff we're thinking about, we're plugging it back into the game and making it future-proof as well. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to do, and we've Cagney is the first step towards doing that and making sure we don't break everybody else's experience they've already had.
Yeah, that's right. And so our path from sort of here to you is So we do our final QA run through here. That will go successful. We go into the sort of EA wide, worldwide testing, which is called ECG, TCG. And then once that,
you have to get this bit dead right, Matt, because we